Come join us on May 17th and 18th. Jay Martin, CEO of Cambridge House, will be hosting the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference with former Prime Minister of Canada Stephen Harper and Felipe Calderon, the former President of Mexico, as guest speakers, and over 100 macro finance keynote speakers, including myself, 225 commodity investment opportunities, and over 5,000 investors. There's a chance to meet in person, share ideas, and see how the world is being redefined. Good morning, everyone. It's Andrew with the Market Mindset. Today, a real pleasure meeting up with Gianni Kovacevic, who, as everyone knows, the founder and core leader there over at LithiumBank, which has done a name change. A lot of things in the past year have gone on to, as people have held that stock, improve that position, and a lot of news just in the last couple of weeks. We wanted to catch up, talk about the name change. Some of the funds were raised and who was involved and what's looking good there, but also then kind of segue into more energy as we see Gianni's bigger plan and talking about LithiumBank as well. So welcome, Gianni. It's great to catch up with you. How's it all going?
Well, it's going really well, Andrew, and a very good timing. And I think we've only done a few of these, always around good timing. People want to, it's got to be actionable. And we're going to talk about LithiumBank today. It's a recent IPO, happened on April 1st. It's a company that's developing what will be one of the largest development lithium projects in the world. And the magic words there are, we raised a ton of dough last year at higher prices, $1.50 a share. So the stock is currently trading around 120.
Yeah.
And what has the lithium industry done in the past year? And you're getting it at a discount. So we're going to talk about all the different milestones and the value drivers. More importantly, after everything is delivered, LithiumBank is still going to have over 5 million in cash, and it's only got 37 million shares out. That's a torque deal. Yeah. So I think people are going to want to follow that, and I think the timing very good. And just to put a, pat myself on the back, LithiumBank, which is now called Faraday Copper. For me personally, as the founder of both, they're sister companies for me, even though they don't have related management teams. But it's went through a name change, and that was a management team was announced on September 2nd of last year. Very strong technical people, people that say what they do and do what they say. The name change finally occurred on April 19th. They announced a financing when the stock was trading in the high 70 cents, Andrew, 80 cents a share. No warrant, and it was fully subscribed by 3 big names.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yes.
All of a sudden, the stock shot up to $1 because everyone else it's full. That financing was now increased. It's going up to $20 million, no commission, no fees, and it's taken up by 3 very large names. People can look at their own leisure, and I encourage everyone to go to Faraday Copper, About Us, look at the video. That stock, which was, for people that know LithiumBank, Faraday, same company, is already an 8-bagger.
Yes.
And the news flow hasn't even started. And that was that patient bank strategy. Don't do that anything stupid. Keep your dilution to a bare minimum. We did just enough money. And then the endorsement comes now with look who's involved. The 3 parties that actually came to the project. Now, I was with LithiumBank since 2014 when I founded it, and people have all kinds of opinions about projects. Everyone thinks theirs is the best, but the only 3 groups that actually came to the field and did the work, boots on the ground, stayed for 4, 5, 6 days. They all got involved. Alan Wilson, formerly head of exploration at Antofagasta Board of Directors. Mark Fow, who was with South 32. Came to the project. He's our chief technical lead as a consultant. And of course, the Paul Harbage and Russell Ball, very, very high credentials with both these individuals. They came, they did the work, they invested hard cash. They're leading the charge. And I believe it's going to be a very exciting 12 months. And me personally, because I'm no longer involved on the board, but I think this is a 3 to 5 bagger from where we are right now. And it's been a very good story for me. I've done very well with it, but I'm going to ride this wave. But I think it's going to be we're in the right place, right time, right commodity.
Yeah, and kudos to you to get the sheer. I mean, to get a couple names is always good, but the sheer amount of big names involved in the company directly on the board as advisors, but then also as investors of this last round. I mean, that's
gorillas. These investors are all
huge.
Gorillas. Each and every single one of them are mega investors in the space. So the what can I say? It speaks for itself. Talk is cheap, Andrew.
Yeah.
We work with actions. And I don't over dilute myself. I stuck with it. You stick with one thing and you do it well. The only side project I had was Desert Mountain Energy. It was just a kind of a no-brainer for me. You and I were both involved on that one.
Yeah.
It was over a 20 bagger, and patient, slow and steady. And then we've been constructing LithiumBank since 4 years. So it's kind of a big deal. And it was very serendipitous that a very elegant segue, handing off the keys of Faraday Copper to competent people to take it to the finish line. I'm not a mining engineer or a geologist. I was the custodian of the projects. I remain the second largest shareholder. I think people will see this week who the largest shareholder of the company now is. They should be very happy and very, it builds a lot of confidence, but I remain the second largest shareholder and I'm their biggest fan. I want them to succeed more than anyone else. And I'm going to stick with it. And then, but it also frees my time now as a director and a founder. We are going to be pushing the LithiumBank narrative, the story, and more importantly, a driver of a lot of news also for the next 12 months. And nothing changes. We are not going to be doing any kind of a financing. We do not need to do this because when we look at moving our portfolio of projects forward, as I've already articulated, after everything has been delivered, this includes, if we just introduction to the projects, we have what I believe will be one of the largest development lithium projects in the world. Our focus has been in central Canada, namely Alberta and Saskatchewan. We're talking about petrobrines, and our flagship project is called Sturgeon Lake. Hatch Engineering has been engaged to complete that PEA. You do not have to wait a long time for the results of this PEA. The resource is already out. We have one of the largest inferred resources for lithium of any company in the world. And so now with this first economic model, people are actually able to look at and put us into comparables. And on that project alone, I think you will see a difference because our competitors, 3 of them already have a market cap north of 1 billion Canadian dollars, and many of them have many hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's do simple arithmetic. We've got 37 million shares. Stock is trading 30% lower or 25% lower than our financing of 1 year ago, $1.50 a share. Our market cap is about 45 million Canadian. Something's going to change there. Yep. And I think it's just it's a new company and it's fallen into some very negative trade winds the last week. And it could be, who knows what people are doing with the overall lithium sector, but there's not a lot of shares outstanding. Yeah. And that is, I think, the takeaway here. After everything's delivered, we're still going to have more than 5 million Canadians. So you don't have to worry about some hand-to-mouth financing that's going to occur with LithiumBank. And of course, there's the rest of the portfolio, which we should talk about as well. Yes,
and I mean, it's using Faraday as like kind of a backdrop to the milestones that you hit there. To bring even half to LithiumBank, if you could bring half of that type of success that you've had, culmination of building of, and leaving it in the capable hands of the team now, I think that would be outstanding for LithiumBank. Now, you touched on something as well, was the sentiment with people. It's a chaotic time. People are kind of stressed, and there's this, there's that, there's inflation. Getting rid of some like these kind of winners before they've really had legs, to me personally, I mean, it's not the right move. There's other things that someone could sell or rebalance. These types of stories that are attracting these types of people and names, it's never a guarantee. There's no guarantees in life, but it certainly is extremely difficult. And I really want to stress that, that it's very hard to get the people involved in these types of deals, and with such a clean structure and such a launching pad.
Well, I think Faraday's been a very happy ending. And I think for people that really got involved in the beginning, it's potentially a 20 or 30 bagger from people that bought in the doomsday scenario. With LithiumBank, it's just starting. And you don't have to have any FOMO, because the last financing we did before the lithium sector took off, before a lot of our peers had market caps north of $1 billion, that was $1.50 a share. So you can buy it cheaper than that. And the maxim I always use, and I believe Jim Grant said this, he says, successful investing is having everyone agree with you later.
Yeah,
because you have to buy these things when timing is very important. And I've already said the magic words with LithiumBank. I'll say it again just to reinforce it. We've got 37 million shares outstanding. And after everything is complete that we're going to talk about for the rest of the portfolio, we are going to have more than 5 million of cash still in the bank. I know what it's like to run out of cash in a company. I know what it's like in a bear market. We never want to go hat to hand. We want to always be in a position of strength. And we want to afford it. We also have a portfolio. I talked about Sturgeon Lake. That's going to be brought forward. We already have a resource. Hatch Engineering is working with us to complete the first economic model. And then in some 12 months after that first PEA is brought to the market, we're going to be working towards doing a PFS, a preliminary feasibility study. And we also have our Saskatchewan portfolio. When this was out of favor, we were successful in auctions in the province of Saskatchewan. We paid more than $1 million of hard cash to obtain these leases. It's over 300,000 acres. And why am I telling you this? There's another company coming to market called Prairie Lithium that's raising a serious amount of cash on a market cap that's going to be something like, I think, around $100 million. Well, they have around 300,000 acres in Saskatchewan. They have their first resource. We are working very quickly to establish our initial maiden resource in Saskatchewan. And with that, success on that will segue into what will be our first PEA and our first Saskatchewan project. Now, we have over 3 million acres of these lithium leases between Saskatchewan and Alberta. This is a multiple project, multiple company situation, and there's always the potential to do a spin out or some kind of a value creation, because my motto has always been, we want to provide a return to our shareholders in excess of simply share price appreciation. And that's something people should always look at. So it's people should be registered. They should look at LithiumBank and you go to the website and do the double opt-in for the email information if that's what you'd like to do. And you could also download our presentation and just look at where we are, what we're doing, and the comparables. It speaks for itself. Look at the insider buying for LithiumBank every single day. Now that's going to stop. We are eventually going to start delivering news, and I'm not able to buy my shares during blackout periods. But if the stock stays at a 20% discount to my financing of 1 year ago, I'm a buyer of LithiumBank all day long. And it's not just talk. This is someone that I'm willing to do that consistently day in and day out. And the team will also be there to support us. So,
and you're really, people know you as being such a visionary, specifically with copper, but in a bigger sense of the electric future of this change and shift in energy for years before it was commonplace for people to be talking about it. And this is a natural extension of that same conversation. And on the Faraday site in the old Copper Bank, you had the energy section, which is also on the LithiumBank site, where people can be walked through the thesis and this shift that we're going through. And copper may be a little bit more challenging, but people understand lithium. They hear it all the time. They associate it with Elon Musk and Tesla. To have a huge possible resource and amount of land not only speaks volumes towards Canada being a resource country, but a big boon for Alberta itself. And what a foundation for being a part of that whole energy change and shift right now. And you can put your money where your mouth is and be part of that kind of whole shift right now.
Absolutely. And I couldn't be more proud. We were early. I quite literally wrote the book on the sector. My 2016 book, My Electrician Drives a Porsche, which had nothing to do with fast cars. It had everything to do with how a young electrician enlightens his family doctor as they go through a journey of enlightenment to understand the magnificence of electrification and how it is going to become the future of energy. And we are continuing. It's even going to be more accelerated. Don't be, these things don't take place overnight. Of course, this takeoff is now being stunted because what is the cog? What's the thing blocking it? The materials, the lithium, the cobalt, the nickel. The lithium is the common bond, which is why this process that we're talking about in Alberta, which if you look at, the grades are much lower than Chile and Argentina. But what happens is that this lower grade concentration of lithium is bumped up through a very simple process. So the amount of water that goes through these plants for the DLE process is much lower. So we're not so worried about grade because you're bumping the grade up. What we're looking at is creating world-class tier 1 resources. And then it's for the chemistry companies and the technology companies. They take the material and they're the ones, we're no longer at the last mile. We're no longer at the last 100 meters. We're at the last 50 meters. And it's basically, you can choose how this material is going to end up in lithium ion batteries. Alberta is, I will submit to people, if not one of the best, maybe the best place to do this type of extractive industry, because it's all the same workers, it's all the same infrastructure, pipelines, and a very supportive government. Alberta has said time and again, this is a very important future driver for their economy. And we're just at the right place at the right time with the right commodity.
Like you did with CopperBank, it's clean. There's the ability for the investors to make money. You have to give yourself and the investors every chance at making money. And the vehicle, the projects, it's all perfect.
And we did all the hard work, all the lifting during the bear market. You do not get projects like this and ideas like this in a bull market. They need to be created and structured in the hard times. That's what we did at CopperBank. That's what we did at LithiumBank. And I think this window, this very small window, is in sympathy with what was an awful 10 days in the global stock exchanges at the end of April of 2022. There's your window.
Yes. No, I think so much. Really appreciate it. And that's the thing to focus on again is Gianni said a number of things here. And if you weren't paying attention, rewatch the video, because there's a lot happening, and don't get carried away with the noise out there. There's lots of negative news. This is the perfect time, whenever there is chaos, to focus in on the right projects, the right managements with teams that have told you things and then done it, hit their milestones. This is another opportunity screaming right in your face. And we're really looking forward to covering it and to seeing the developments as it comes. And also Faraday Copper, it's on its way already. So, I mean, we're excited about as well. But LithiumBank, once again, people, it's you have a chance to be a part of this whole shift, and with a massive, massive project. If you look at like a competitor who is valued in the billions of dollars, they work with a company called Lilac, which has a partnership with BMW, and that company, Lake, just got a deal with Ford. So, like you said, these car companies are coming directly looking for these types of projects because they want a direct source. They don't want to have to go to the market. Like even Elon says, I don't want to pay the current price of lithium. I want to own I want direct feed of this. So it's going to be interesting as the story develops to see who's courting you, who you're going to be speaking to, because this seems to be the new change that's coming down the pipeline of end users coming directly to a mine and saying, we don't want to be in the market for this. We want to be partner with you so we can get X amount of the product out of the mine.
Yeah, stay tuned. But they're doing all that as a marketer, they're doing all that work for me. I can't do a better job. They're doing it for me. And then don't argue with the customer. I don't have to solve the puzzle for them. They come and they're the ones that take the material, and they're the ones that go and can we create A, B, or C material to fit in some future chemistry of a lithium ion battery. My job is to create world-class resources, economic models, and de-risk them by eventually ending up with some kind of a feasibility or pre-feasibility study to increase the confidence that the economic model is going to work. So that's our job. And because the infrastructure is already there, we're able to get a resource, Andrew, very quickly, very cost effectively, because all the well infrastructure is already there. This is the sampling that takes place. In what is a very cooperative industry with people that know what they're doing. They've done this for how many decades? This is their business. So it dovetails perfectly into where we are. You want to be it's very important where you are. And for our local jurisdiction, this is something they already understand and are supporting. So just look at all the many comments you've seen from both the Canadian federal government and in putting $2 billion into this type of critical elements, namely this talking about Alberta and lithium, that's a big part of that. And of course the Alberta government and the support they're giving. So don't fight the tape. So
yeah, they have a chance to change their whole image on a world-class scale. And that's, I mean, I think everyone would want to jump on that and would be wishing you the best success. And as it comes, and hopefully as it comes, we're going to be there to witness it. And like you said, you're not going to have to wait that long. I mean, it's all there. It's all the infrastructure is there. You've done all the heavy lifting to get us to here. It's just a matter of getting people aware that they can be a part of this change as well. And there's no harm in making money when you're making positive change. Well, okay, I'll just say, listen, Gianni, it's always a pleasure catching up with you. And I mean, there's going to be so much news, and we're excited about Faraday. I mean, that's launched on its way again. Can't say it enough. But this LithiumBank, I mean, it's got it all. Not only that, it has such an angle that even for me, I look at it, even a politician can get behind, because it answers a lot of the problems that we have out there with the environment, with getting Alberta back on track to being a center of energy on the world stage. There's so many great talking points. And like you said, it's a great shell and a structure, corporate structure for big growth. And you're not going to have to wait. It's great. Yeah. It's a great setup.
Yeah, exactly. And in summary, I would just suggest to people that if they found this captivating and they really want to look at the details, watch this video again. I think we touched on all the magic buttons for both stories, and that's really, there's too many important momentum drivers right now. They should just watch this video again and have some confidence. But we do things slowly, patiently, and for me, razor sharp focus. The only thing you're going to see me working on for the next months is LithiumBank. It's IPO. It's been a month, and I think that the stock is very undervalued. So that's my razor sharp focus, is to get this, to close the gap with our peer group. And our peer group, 3 companies north of $1 billion Canadian market cap. We're trading at about a 45 million market cap Canadian. Something wrong with that picture. So yeah. let's just work hard and drive value. And then we want to make this an institutional story. So to be continued.
Well, excellent, Gianni. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, thanks so much. We appreciate it. And listen, we're going to be real excited to catch up with you as soon as that comes out. Thanks again. And we'll enjoy the summer until we see you in July.
Thank you.